And welcome back to Cinematic Epic. I am your game master, Adam, and oh boy, are we getting closer and closer to that finale. Cinematic Epic is a fun TTRPG, tabletop role-playing game, where it's all about the story. It's about narrative-first gameplay. Now, there are three ways that story is told. The story that I bring out to the party, NPCs, the characters they interact with, the world. The second way is how the players interact with it, the choices they make, the stories they follow. And third, and kind of equally important to the other two, is the dice rolled along the way. The ones, the 20s, the 10s even, though they sometimes seem less impactful. I like ones personally, at least when the party's rolling. One of the other ways that we like to build our atmosphere is with tabletop audio. Tabletop audio is a fantastic way to add some music and some levity, some dourness, some demure to your role-playing experience, whether you are playing online like us or at home at your own table. Check it out. So the last couple sessions on Cinematic Epic were specials. They were the Sequoia special, where the party ventured into the Twilight Vale, this magical realm that showed them visions of their own design, these things that creeped inside their own heads, their doubts, their insecurities, their angers, their rages, the things that, maybe don't make a hero tick, but maybe quite the opposite. The party was able to track down to where the weapon had fallen, but it was no longer there. And in fact, a grim visage of a Gabriel that once was fought them. They were able to free him from this magic, and he told them that they must continue their quest onward to the Grey Keep. They continued this quest into the Tavish special. The Tavish special was a lot of combat. The party was running basically the entire session through these repeating images of a kingdom that once was, until they finally met up with and squared off with Lyris, or Tavish in another lifetime, perhaps. As the party squared up with him, they were able to break his magic, but not before party members were wounded. Both Ace and Sean E were mortally wounded. However, through the acts of Sequoia claiming Sean E as her very own Gabriel, he was able to rise up once again. Now, the fate of Ace is not so certain. We're going to be finding out what happens today in Cinematic Epic. But the other thing I want to touch on is the fact that Tavish had a big choice at the end of that special, which was, does he go by the name of Tavish or the name Lyris? He decided to remain the character we know as Tavish. What could that other life have been? Who knows? But the weapon is in his hand. So much to find out this episode on Cinematic Epic, but we can't do that without bringing in our party. So let's bring on in our party, and as it is time for this wonderful group of adventurers to tell their tales once again.
You know how to really hit hard.
Kicking things off, we've got Lyra.
Yes. Yeah, no. My name is Alicia. No, my character's name is Lyra. She is from Keep Kolok. I say this every time. She's a shorty. She's 5'2". She's very flashy because in Keep Kolok, everything was about, I don't want to say the theater, but performing in general. So she's very flashy and she keeps it that way. She loves it that way. She attacks by manipulating sound and using it sometimes to her advantage. A lot of times it doesn't always work out the way she wants. Last time she had a bad time, and none of that even had to do with her. So we have to rethink some of our choices, but hopefully we get set on a track that she's actually a part of.
Hey, look, the way I like to think of it is everyone who casts magic is really going, this spell is either going to hurt the enemy, or, you know what, I'll shoot Tavish. Next person up, hurt the enemy, or I'll shoot Tavish. Next up
Tavish
on
is
the
the
list
most
of
likely to
sometimes shooting Tavish is none other than Sequoia.
I don't shoot him nearly as much as Epsilon does.
This is
My name is Jasmine. I'm playing Sequoia. She is the newly appointed Queen of the Forbidden Forest. She was a half pixie orphan raised by the former queen herself, Hedera. She really is a shorty at 4 feet tall. Tiny little thing. Yeah, she's kind of coming into her own as figuring out who she is as a leader and as a hero, and trying to reunite the Hederas and help end this mess that we're kind of fighting against right now.
Mess.
It's
indeed.
true. We're all in this together.
Oh God!
Next up, we've got Tavish, or should we call him Target? I don't know.
Let's call him Tavish, not the target. Hello, my name is Ian, and this evening I will be playing Tavish. As you might have heard, Tavish gets hit a lot by everybody else's spells. Almost all the time. Tavish is a Duhalin, and a Duhalin is somebody who is both neither living nor dead. He fights with a heavy sword and wears heavy armor, as you can see. And he is on this journey of redemption. He's been on it for a while, but we're starting to have more of the pieces of why he needed redemption and why he seeks redemption kind of come more to the forefront. He's struggling a little bit. It's now almost kind of out in the air of what his past life has done to our current world. So it's a little interesting to see how this party progresses forward. And we will see more of that this evening.
It's true what they say, the old moniker, the sins of the Tavish are on the Tavish. Doesn't quite work. But let's bring in our last, but certainly not least, especially when it comes to shooting Tavish, he's the most, Epsilon.
Hey, that's me. My name is James. You got to do what you got to do. My name is James, and I'll be playing Epsilon this evening. Epsilon's a draconic human from a place called Green Girls Watch, which, as I said, is basically like a retirement home for all the greatest heroes. He's all extra dragoned up now. You know what I'm saying? Because he's done taken probably one too many blessings. You know what I mean? But, and last time, some things done gone awry. My boy's all messed up. And, I don't know. I think, he's in an interesting place, having just basically seen a cautionary tale of what happens when someone tries to do heroic things with too much power. So we see what happens.
It is very true. It is very true. As a little extra bit before we get into the session, the very end of last session, the party made their way out of the keep and ventured back to the Beacon of Bellwheat, where they stood just outside the gate. It was ajar, smashed open. Looking into the city, they saw nothing but ruin and chaos. We do have a little bit of a token overview to do as well. We're going to be, let's see here. We have a new way to visualize some of the stuff. So we can see our cinematic tokens, our epic tokens, our gold, and a whole bunch of other stuff, all that kind of stuff. So that way we know what we have to be wielding and throwing at each other.
Whole lot of nothing.
I have some updating to do as far as some of the tokens are concerned, but hey, it's cool that we can visualize that and we can see that moving forward. But to figure out what happens to Ace, what happened to the Beacon of Bellwheat, and where our party will continue down, or how our party will continue down this road towards the battle with Upsilon, there's only one way to do that, and that is to start this episode of Cinematic Epic.
Ooh.
Here we go.
As the party stands outside of the Beacon of Bellweed, its gate torn asunder, thrown aside, each of the party starts to make their way in, cautiously, of course, but
Mhm.
into the city they travel. Just as Epsilon is about to pass into the threshold of the city, a hand grabs his shoulder, and he is turned around. And as he turns around, in fact, let's jump right in to the sidebar.
Dang! He just got me. I knew it though.
Just got
As you turn around, at first for but a second, you see Shaw, but he quickly fades. And then you're staring at your father, at Typhon. I've got to say, I don't like the new look.
You come all this way just to say that?
So much of your mother drips off you. But no, it isn't why I came here. You're showing weakness.
How
You're
so?
showing fear. Look at them. And he gestures over. And as you look kind of like the way he's gesturing, it's kind of like when you've tapped into your power before, like you see the world around you moving, it's just slowly. And you see like Tavish like looking through bags for like potions, then like the rest of the party checking on the people of the Beacon of Bellweed, and just slumped up next to the gate with like Shawnee looking after him is Ace. You're gonna let him die.
I would think that's what exactly what you would approve of.
There's a lot of ways that I wish you could be better than me. And I'm gonna try to make you a hero I couldn't have been. There's a lot of ways that you've already failed. And he gestures to your demeanor. I left Upsilon. You're right. Are you going to leave him?
What can I even do for him, Father? I fear that anything I could do to help him is only going to make his situation worse.
I can't tell you what actually is going to happen. No one could have ever predicted we were going to be in a situation like this. And while I won't mince words, everything that you've become, this decision to follow your mother's path, to me is revolting. But it's clear there's a difference between you and Upsilon. Well, there should be. You've decided to look into the darkness, Epsilon. To stare into the void. You decided to forsake your family and walk down this path. And just because we won't follow you doesn't mean you have to walk alone. You can be better than Upsilon. probably won't listen to me anyway. And he turns and he starts starts to walk away as if the area you're in is a room and he is about to exit it.
I don't have anything else to say, so I think I will also turn and I'm gonna walk over to where Ace is at.
All right, let's rejoin the party.
Do you need help?
As the party is each of you as you go in, you kind of get your bearings. You all quickly realize wait, no, hold on, the guards aren't like this guy's not dead. Oh, this guy's not dead, and you start to realize the guards aren't dead. They're pretty beat up. They're bruised. Their shields and weapons are ripped apart and broken, but the worst injuries you're finding are sprained or broken limbs. For the most part, no one you're finding has actually been truly harmed.
Okay, that's good.
Well, that's good.
You also all are aware that before when you were at the Great Keep, you each tried to help Ace. Only some sort of medicine or potion would help. Now, as you look through the ruins to see if anything is salvageable, you come up short. In all of this, you didn't even recognize that Epsilon had stayed behind outside the gate. Epsilon, you approach Ace.
I'm gonna get down.
Kim?
I don't know. I think just gonna I feel I want to put a hand on his chest, and I'm just gonna think about what it felt like for the first time that I died and I got saved, and just the feelings of having someone to come and help me, pretty much,
Okay.
and taking just hold these feelings, and he's gonna think about what it means to be a hero, to do what you can to help people, or not for any other reason, but just to, heroism for heroism's sake,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try. What were you gonna say?
As your hand touches his chest or his shoulder, and you start to go through these feelings, these emotions, you're trying to elicit this part in yourself, perhaps in him. You feel a connection, not only just as not only just the connection between you and Mother Spawn, but a truer bond, a real bond. Ace doesn't just look up to you because of the calling. Ace looks up to you because to him you truly are the captain. You're his friend. And as he meets your eyes, as you stare down at him, you feel that you enter this crossroad, his life essence almost humming in your hand. And so a choice now lies before you, Epsilon. Will you embrace your power and save Ace, or say goodbye to a friend?
Yo.
Right
I
out
feel
the
like
gate.
Oh my god.
with this hidden conversation that no one else in here knows about, but me and Adam, I feel like I gotta walk my path. I gotta save this man. But I feel like as I'm trying to embrace the power to help him, or rather, I don't know. I got some shit I want to say, I guess, basically.
That's fine.
He is dying, dude.
So, but you are using your powers to save Ace.
Yeah.
And Epsilon says he has some stuff to say, so let's go ahead. Let's get a full box on him. And Epsilon, what
No,
do you
no,
say to
no,
Ace?
not the full box. Oh, I'm just like Ace. Your work's not over. I still need you, and I think it's time for you to rise. You need to rise as a champion of Mervana.
Oh.
As you lay your hand on him, you feel like your wings swell. You feel that chittering other voice in your head as it's like. And for a brief second, Ace's heart stops, and you hear a as like bones like click back together, and you watch as muscle and sinew slide over and recover as tissue and like re-stitches itself, and then his heart starts beating again, and he looks up at you with a gasp. Captain, thanks.
Is
Thanks,
still you
Cam.
in there?
Who else would it be, Cam?
If you have to ask that.
Oh,
In the party, each of you are so like caught up in this like. I'm sorry. What did we just watch Epsilon do? That beguiling his size, Colbjorn has re-entered the group, and with like a startle, everyone's kind of like, "Oh!"
The fuck?
Colbjorn walks directly up to Epsilon.
I'll be like, you can't be sneaking up on us like that.
How is that even possible for you to sneak?
Oh my god.
At first, he like you feel his presence, his energy begin to speak to you as he has before, but then he you save and he reaches a hand out to you while you're kneeling next to Ace. Brother.
okay. I clasped this man's hand. We're doing the
And he helps you to your feet, and he like brushes your shoulder off, and he begins. I failed.
Oh.
Could not catch the shifty one.
Shifty one indeed.
Shifty indeed.
You did your best.
Oh, shifty son bitch.
I
You
did
did.
not mean to hurt anyone. But he came here. I followed. They would not let me in. So I made my way through. They attacked.
In my own door.
So I had to act in self-defense.
Ah,
It
you
does.
brat.
Can
Follow
we
You didn't kill
or is
nobody.
this like, or is this like?
No, not the
hearing
meta
like
commentary. Not the meta commentary. No, I understand the
Can we hear him
implications.
talking?
Yes,
You just
everyone can
realized
hear
that?
him talking.
You
Yeah,
just
everyone can
realized
hear.
self-defense. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, you did well.
I mean,
Better than I would have expected, but to be honest.
did anyone actually die? Because
No, as you've gone through, you've been able to find the other part of the party, the one Miles Maceborn and that section of the party. Again, they are quite beat up, but none of them are like actually like injured in any real way, or you know, it's you can tell for them like a lot of it is more like I can't believe we've lost to this same guy in the span of like 3 days. Like,
Well, look, I mean, he's probably telling the truth because no one actually died.
Yeah, I
He said he
wanna,
didn't mean to
I
hurt
wanna.
anybody, so I mean, if it was self-defense, I mean, you can't really blame him, right?
This is true. I wanna go up to this man, Colbjorn, and just tell him, brother, I've done you wrong these last days. Your freedom is yours to do with as you wish. I just gotta release this. I don't want to have like a
Kraken.
like a hold on him. You know what I mean? Like if he
Mhm.
stays or goes, that's his choice.
you feel like as you like release the collar, you know, if you will, his connection to you feels more similar to Ace now, as if he's accepted your calling rather than it being forced upon him.
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
Kind of. It's less bad.
A injured, like not banged up is the better way, shaky guard captain comes up to the party. While I'm quite aware that by no martial means could we get you to leave, I am going to have to ask, with all due respect, if you would please take your business elsewhere. Please.
That's probably fair.
Understandable.
But did you die?
I mean, everyone's fine, right?
I'm looking around at the destruction, or just thinking about the 200 gold I have in my pocket. Like, yeah, I can't cover that.
Yeah, no, it's while no one
That's
was
fine.
like killed. I mean, again, people are banged up, people are injured, and a lot of swords are broken, a lot of shields are broken, a lot of like windows and like like you know, like carts along the street and things like that are broken apart and battered. Obviously, their gate is also torn asunder.
Massive property damage.
Um,
GTA style property damage.
The only vendor that seems untouched by all of this is a small vendor peddling meats off in the nearby alleys.
I knew that. I knew it.
What's he doing there?
Does the meat smell scrumptious?
It
my
smells odd.
Suspicious.
So odd. Oh,
The
come on
shady
now.
meat.
Not
The
shady.
shady
I don't got the same senses, I guess.
The pocket meat. Jin's pocket meat vendor.
Because Jin ate everything, that's why.
Tavish would go.
Oh?
Tavish would kind of look at the guard captain and was like, "We arrived by airship, dear, and that's not quite fit for flight anymore.
Ooh.
Is there a regular ship that we can book passage through to return and be out of Beacon of Bellweed?"
If you travel down, and he points out, not the gate you came, but like if you imagine there's like a north, south, east, west kind of gate. He points towards their southern gate. If you were to travel through that gate and make it to the next beacon, the beacon of Ton. Hold on, let me make sure that's not the north beacon. Not that it super matters, but it matters for me.
That's fair.
We wouldn't know.
He would know.
All
We're gonna say I can't find it right now. I'm not gonna sit here and look through my notes. If you make it to the south beacon, there's a town there, and they can help you out.
Okay.
Thank you, Captain.
I wonder how
Do
far it
appreciate
is.
your assistance in the face of such recent adversity.
Sorry.
I make a mental note that one day I'm gonna have to come back here and like do some hero work for a while. Like
Oh,
a mental note of like a debt that is now owed to these people.
I don't
you're
think
gonna
I
walk
want
up
you
and they're
come
gonna be
back.
like, "Oh God, you're back."
Dude, we'll open the gate. It
Oh,
opens.
But only a little bit.
We don't need your help. It's okay.
No, God, what are you doing here?
We'll
Why
open
are you
the
here?
gate a
Why are you
little
back?
bit so you can get through, but that other guy's got to stay outside.
as the party leaves the beacon of Bellweep. Yes, we're all good. Okay.
Yeah.
You're able to
Towards the south
travel.
beacon.
You're able to travel along the roads to the southern beacon. As you move through with the other party in tow and the crew from your airship, one of the things that you would note is it feels like your travel is easy. It's quick. You seem to move far beyond, like far faster than expected. All of like the markers on the map seem to like you hit them in what feels like minutes rather than hours.
It's unfortunate that that's suspicious.
As you get
Right.
closer to the southern beacon, you hear a voice kind of call out from the gray. You guys did pretty good, if I'm being honest. And
Oh,
it's
Hey, it's you.
the contact. It's Shaw, you believe his
Shaw.
name was. I haven't seen this place so peaceful in quite some time. And, I mean, to help you travel like this, I mean, it's the best blessing I could say for a land. It does have a few things it wants you to see if you're willing to indulge it before you go.
The
Epsilon,
land?
it's already kind of talked to you. But, yeah, it has some stuff I think you're going to want to see. I'll meet you again before the beacon. But, yeah, keep your minds open. And just as quickly as he materialized and you noticed him, he fades.
I
See,
guess with that prompting,
I knew this seemed too easy.
I want
Did you
to
say the
I
land
just tell them about what happened in the sideboard. Like, I basically, when I was there, I seen like a vision of my dad talking to me. He basically gave me actually good advice. He also shit talked me a little bit, but he gave me good advice about like, basically, I'm being weak by not embracing my power. Basically, like if you chose to walk this path, then you have to walk the path. Basically, like you've chosen a different path, and you do seem to be different, or you're supposed to be different than Epsilon. So basically, don't be afraid to use what you've taken. Basically,
Why does this sound not like your father, but what you would want your father to say to you?
I
Yeah,
mean,
this
because
sounds a
technically it
little
is still
sketchy. It doesn't
that.
sound like.
Because the Gray, as we said before, the Gray is not able to make me talk to him. It's like my knowledge of my brain, formulating a little
Mhm.
hallucination to him talking to me, and he's still somewhat cordial, so that was nice. But it
Like a
still sounded decent. So I was like, okay, well, if the delusion before can give me good advice, then why can't this one give good advice too?
That's because you know deep down exactly what you're supposed to do, and you need, but it's because that's within you already, obviously.
Yeah, that's something like that, right? The way I explained it sounded way worse than Adam's
Because
seductive talk.
that does not sound like your father at all.
I
Not at
mean, the
all.
way he said it, obviously it sounded like him because you'll have to listen later. But yeah,
But
Maybe
it worked
that's.
out for me.
It sounds like that's how your father should be and not how he is. To
Mm-hmm.
encourage his children to walk their own paths,
Mm-hmm.
as maybe the true test of any parent is that
Mm.
your children don't end up walking the path you had hoped for them. Instead, they walk a path that they define for themselves.
And I think you're both right, because when I think about it, my father was mad that I didn't follow his path in the first place. So
Hmm.
maybe this is just the gray is assistant too.
Yeah.
That's why it's some good advice.
Because, like, why would he be telling you that you're doing a good job when that's not what he wanted you to do in the
He
first
wasn't
place?
like, he's like, well, you did the thing I didn't want you to do, but now that you've done this, you got to do it all the way. Don't go halfway. That's pretty much what the advice was.
So basically, you had a vision of him actually being a good father.
Yes, and if it felt good for that couple minutes, eventually walked away. It was a little weird though, but
Well,
I don't know.
At least you have that.
As the party continues on, Tavish and Sequoia, you would both feel the gray trying to give you a vision.
Oh.
This would you accept the visions from the Twilight Vale?
Sure.
Sure.
Reluctantly, Tavish
Oh.
would.
Reluctant.
He's like, what they about to say to me?
Let's see what we got.
Tavish is holding on to the stone pretty tightly. He's not letting it anywhere out of his sight.
As you look over, as the veil begins to show its vision, you see what you can only imagine was this land before the stone hit, before the magics became so wild. The grass flowing horses down the sides of the plains, the sun beating down, grain, a crop that can grow in plenty here. It's beautiful. These rolling hills. And then you see the stone slam, a castle emerge, gods and men fighting in this eternal conflict as over and over and over and over the same stories played out. And then you see the gray, or the veil as it is now. The Grey Keep is quiet. No longer does its sky beat red and does the scene repeat. No longer does it feel like this land is trapped within its violence. The magic is still, wild and will still be prone, but now it could potentially come and go like the weather, rather than what it was. That heaviness, that storm, regret, hatred, vengeance, all fueling constantly into this magical land that it is. Sequoia, you overwhelmingly start feeling lust, Hedera. Yes, lust, Hedera. And then
My favorite.
the Twilight Veil shows you her face, her this image, and you see North Hill. The leaf vibrates, and you can tell that there's no lie. There is truth in this statement, and now with this extra element of direction added, you must make it to North Hill.
Uh-oh.
Lust Hedera lives.
Okay.
For Tavish, as you're walking, you were next to Sequoia when the two of you were walking down this road. All of a sudden, you find yourself 4 or 5 steps back, but you're looking at you walking with Sequoia. But it's not you. It's the you that could have been. It's Lyris.
Uh-oh.
And he walks
Bad guy.
and he talks with Sequoia about how they're going to get their vengeance. They're going to restore Sequoia still, but it is through vengeance, through violence, that this will be achieved. The thoughts of finding the creature Chimera and giving mercy to Mervis is a fading thought. What is truly in his mind's eye is making sure that Croupier perishes and pays. One of the things that is not lost on you, Sequoia, as this version of Tavish, this one named Lyris, walks next to you, is he is unmistakably human, lively, flesh-toned, beating heart, unlike the Tavish that is behind you. Yet somehow, despite all of this version of him feels colder. And in some ways feels less alive than the Duhallan who now replaces him. Without an effort on your own part, Tavish, you are walking next to Sequoia again. And one of the big things that overwhelmingly fits between the two of you as you continue walking forward is that it's the two of you walking forward. As if a question yet to be answered, but requires both footsteps. And the vision fades. The party continues on, continuing down the road, closer and closer to the next beacon. And then the veil reaches out to Lyra.
Oh, am I here?
Do you allow the vision of the veil?
Yes.
As the vision starts to encompass you, you hear, Lyra, over here, I got us a table. And you're staring at Valkyrie. You can't help but go over to her as the images around you begin to form. You're like, you're in the streets, the healthy streets of Keep Kolok. Lights and music are playing, and it's just a joyous time. Everything is just so perfect. The date springs to mind immediately for you. This was Keep Kolok. This was just before the World's Fair started. This is, yeah, of course, yeah. And as you sit at a table and you converse with Valkyrie, you feel pulled from yourself, now hovering above yourself, almost as if witnessing this in third person. You at a table with Valkyrie, waiting for something. Wait, what were you waiting for? It was a playbook signing. Yeah, it was the thespians were in town, and it was before the World's Fair. Of course, you were going to get the playbill signed, and then from this third person view, as it hovers above this cute little library where the meeting was being held, this signing, the roof disappears, and you find yourself floating into the library itself. And then at a table inside, two people converse. Just like you and Valkyrie outside, you see Okram Lafor. And across from him, you see Sigma. So, this has to be worth it. I mean, there has to be a reason you were let in before the others, presuming you were actually let in at all. Okram speaks to Sigma. Well, I'd written to you a few times, but it seems difficult for you to, respond. And her sentence is cut off as he goes, there's just so much fan mail. I mean, you have to imagine, the amount of publicity and attention we get. She smiles, but pulls back a scoff. I don't think you understand how much help you really need. There's so much more that we could all earn. I have some goals that you could aid with, that you could make better, and I for sure have some things that I know you want. Okram sits back and kind of chuckles to himself. I truly don't believe that you have much to offer me at all. In fact, I would go as far to say that, and he like kind of sizes her up. I want nothing from you in totality. She kind of sits back in her chair and bites her lip. That's fine. That's fine. In time, you're going to do what I want. They always do. And she kind of steps up and stands away from the table. I've got people that I know you're going to want to meet. And I just have a feeling that, well, if you don't meet them, well, you and your boss are going to be really unhappy. Okram kind of waves her off, and you watch as Sigma walks out the back of the library, and then this haunting feeling starts to wash over you. You remember how you were able to afford going to Ambervale, going to the World's Fair, staying in the hotels you did, and paying for everything. It was a contest you won. It was for the books signing you were at. And you watch as Sigma slips out the back, and as she passes by a set of roses, no longer do you look at Sigma. Well, not her physical form anymore. As she walks over to the two, you and Valkyrie, and she comes up, only now in the guise of a one of the people who works at the World's Fair. This small, like frail man. Oh, Joy, you have, and he reads off the playbooks that you have. They're admittance numbers. You have won our raffle to go to the World's Fair. You and Valkyrie overjoyed in this moment. You get to go to the World's Fair? That's you were going to have to jump through so many hoops to be able to follow the thespians there, and now you're just going to be able to? What remarkable luck. What remarkable luck. And you realize how many times, how many moments that you were just in the right place at the right time and lucky, or at least that's what you thought, to meet the thespians, to meet Okram, to join the party. And this thought creeps over you as this vision begins to fade. You've been a part of this story for a lot longer than you realize. And those words that you spoke at the gate when Lyris was taunting the party, I'm just along for the ride. I don't even belong here, doesn't ring so true anymore. And you're back with the party, and you realize you're like at the edge of the entering the next beacon.
Almost there.
You guys made it in great time. If I'm being honest, I'm going to be sad to see you going. Could you all promise me just one thing? The magics in this land that sustained me, the ones that Neophytos put in place, they're fading. I can feel myself failing to manifest now, especially with the Great Keep falling silent. If you could just let him know that my last mission was successful, and that I wish him the best.
We will.
Of course.
You have my word.
Thank you. And best of luck in your upcoming battles. I know you're going to need it, especially if you need that thing.
Oh.
In the next town, you'll find that there's a smuggler's ring. That ring owes its allegiance to Vice,
Of course it
and
does.
thus Ambervale. It'll get you out of here. All you gotta do is say, "The grain hall looks great today, doesn't it?"
Oh. All right.
They'll let you know that the current flow's right. And that means he's your guy. Anyway, thanks again, heroes. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
for all your help.
Thank you, Sean, for all that you've done. Be at peace.
Yeah. You too. And he fades with the wind. The party is...
Does he have...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, this is like related but not really related. Does he have like any like plaques or anything like that I would know of, like back at Greengrove's Watch? Like, have I seen anything like that, like a statue or anything?
The closest to that would be, you remember hearing stories of the hunter-slayer duo of Shaw and Neophytos. They were like legendary in their conquests against like foul and dark creatures. They travel a lot to like rid towns, cities, and continents of anything dark, eerie, creepy, ghostly, monstrous.
Okay. I'm gonna have to make something for this man, I guess.
As the party makes their way into the beacon of the southern beacon, and they give the passcode. They get the proper response.
Oh.
This leads them down this road at first, and then the road becomes unpaved and becomes just man-made. as you all leave the beacon, first down paved roads, then down muddy ones, then down no roads at all, until you reach a port of sorts. It seems to just be one shack with a mage who occasionally walks out and just helps like bring ships ashore or pull the current in to have a ship like leave into the ocean. You immediately get the feeling that this is no official port. This is definitely some sort of illicit trading post. But ships with the flag of Vice are mounted here. Finding your way aboard one of the vessels is easy. They recognize you, after all. You're the champions of Vito. Saviors.
Yeah.
Free passage is allowed to you back to Vice. This entire time,
Nice.
good old Shawnee has his hood up
Of
and
course he
down
does.
and tight.
He looks like
The entire time, you travel with this group of smugglers and pirates. They sing sea shanties, but the shanties they sing are all about like Vice and how like you get what you want and you take what you need. That's the way that Vice works. You can't help but also recognize that they have a few songs about you, about the head takers.
Oh no.
Oh, God.
The wearer of skulls, the butcherer of those that would break their vows, the saviors
Oh,
of
goody.
Vice.
I'd like to say right now, I'd like to commission Derek to make that song.
Oh God.
As the party
We need to hear it.
continues and you reach the docks of Vice, you do know that Vito upheld his end of the bargain. There is a port being built onto Vice to harbor the ships of Ambervale. Though it is not currently operational, you can tell it will be in short order. Your stomachs churn, I imagine, as you expect, as you see already gathering at the docks a welcoming party.
Oh God.
Oh, goody.
As you make your way off the ship, you take your deep breath, but Vito isn't there. Representatives of Vito are there, and they welcome you into the city. They offer you any amenity that you could possibly want, the finest of stays, but you turn them down. You have a place to be. You need to get back to Ambervale.
Oh man.
Sequoia knows she needs to get back to North Hill. Luckily, with the Hermit's Hollow having a station at North Hill, it should be able to be two birds with one stone. You're given quick transport out of Vice, and what was expected to be a painful experience is oddly Vito-less. Though, as you pass through the town, you can't help but notice that there are statues of Vito everywhere. And in a lot of these statues, he has his arms up heroically, and around his feet, supporting the weight of Vice, is none other than statues bearing your faces, your bodies, your image.
Goody.
I would not be taking part in that.
You make it out of the city, and you're given horses to travel to the city of North Hill. At this point, exhaustion is starting to set in. You've been traveling for quite some time, without stop, without pause, and you're able to make it to the town of North Hill. At North Hill, you're finally able to step inside of an inn, shower, wash, and clean up. You can tell that North Hill had a battle, for sure. It was attacked in some capacity, or as you examine it, maybe not attacked, but it received damage in some form of fight. The one thing you do see is that there is, in fact, two memorials. One memorial to the Gabriel of North Hill, and another to your friend from Hermit's Hollow, Xander. The party is able to go inside the inn and begin to clean up, all except for Sequoia, who feels compelled to go to the heart of the forest and see Lustadera. As you make your way to the heart of the forest, Sequoia, it's less vibrant than it was before. Before it seemed there was fauna, there were flowers, but now it's quiet. It's alive, but as if thrown out of balance.
Because it is. There's no Gabriel.
And as you reach the heart, you can tell it's dying. Oh, a weak voice calls out from inside. Sequoia.
Oh.
Is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, we're not here.
I would come to meet you, but I am afraid I don't have the strength. Would you mind?
I know. I'm here. I'm coming. I walk in and I look for her.
You see that she's like, there's no physical ailment to her, but she looks gaunt in comparison to what you've seen before. And she sits in a chair. She looks up at you. Oh, you were able to find, for lack of a better word, another one of my sisters, I guess. Or another one of me. What was she like?
I didn't really get to see her at her best. I only made it to her when she was hurt. I tried to stay with her until I didn't want her to be alone when she.
It's good.
I'm sorry. Is this Gabriel?
I'm sorry.
What happened to you? Was this the what was the other Gabriel? The bad Gabriel called? The
Shrouded
Gabriel,
Whispers.
the Shrouded Whispers, yeah.
Yes.
Was this the Shrouded Whisper Gabriel? He did this, didn't he?
Yes. I had been summoned to speak with the leaders of Hermit's Hollow. Gabriel stayed here. I wasn't here for him, but he needed me. Shaw was, but apparently even the two of them weren't enough.
Shaw was
Xander.
here.
Xander, sorry.
Okay.
Xander was here, but apparently he wasn't enough. I can feel a great evil has entered this land. And I know that it is important for things to come. I no longer possess the strength to continue this fight. And in what can only be described as nearing her last amounts of energy, she stands up to show what strength and vibrancy she has left. For a moment, you see her as you met her, as you know her. This vibrant, alluring, attractive version of the Hedera's that you've met. And she reaches her hand out to you. You have to accept everything I am, because I can't keep going. Not without Azure. Not without Gabriel. My bees don't even fly anymore. Too weighed down by the sorrows of this world. But through you, my power can be wielded again. So if you will have it, I will give it all to you.
I accept. I promise I will. I'll fix this.
Thank you. And in a breeze, in a blink, Lust Hedera is no more. And instead, you feel her intertwined within yourself and the other Hederas. Back with the party, as each one of you are able to kind of clean up and take a nap and stuff like that, you find yourself down waiting in the inn's hall, kind of like, all right, when Sequoia gonna get back, and walking down the stairs, for the first time, you realize you really get to look at him. He'd been cowering or hiding through Vice and was so dirty and ripped up before that you didn't really notice that none other than Shawnee, or perhaps Sean G.
Not
Oh
Sean.
my god.
The
Sean
Sean
G.
Sean.
Sean G.
Oh
Sean,
my
baby.
god.
Sean G.
Sean Gabriel.
Oh my god.
Not Sean
Sean
G.
Kingston.
Oh. I mean, hey, I gotta say, do you guys feel like way better now that we've like actually gotten to take like a break? Like, I don't know how you guys keep traveling for so long.
It surely takes a
comfortably.
toll.
Not
Not
comfortably.
actually needing to sleep does do wonders for travel.
That's true, Tavish.
That's cheating.
Stomping in the mud.
That's not proper travel. That doesn't count.
Oh,
Sequoia is able to make it back to the party, and in short order, the party is able to board a Hermit's Hollow air blimp and make their way back to Ambervale. But before we enjoy the luscious travels of the air blimp back to Ambervale, I do think it is time for us to take our 5-minute break. So all of the wonders that will befoul the party and that lay before will come to a conclusion here in just 5 minutes. So we'll see you real soon. And welcome back. I am your game master, Adam, and this is Cinematic Epic, and we're having a whole lot of fun. We've made it out of the Twilight Veil. We were able to save Ace by embracing the darkness within. Epsilon says he stares into the void and he doesn't blink. That's what he's saying. We got to see some alternate versions of Tavish and what might have become had he chose to embrace the name Lyris instead. We got to know that we needed to head to North Hill, and Hedera of North Hill embraced being a part of Sequoia. Of course, we also got to see the new imagery of none other than the Sean G Baby solar powered energy, which I love, and I will find a way to make sure that the party has to hear way too many times. But as the party finds their way back to Ambervale, we're going to see a little bit of a reunion. They haven't been able to sit down and just interact with each other as party members, as questmates, as friends in quite some time. So let's bring the party on back as they head to Ambervale. And again, for the first time in quite some time, peacefully flying through the air, uninterrupted, the party sits together.
Can I ask one question? Because I don't recall.
Of course.
Lyra knows that Sigma is Epsilon's sister, right?
Yes, or even if you wouldn't 100% know, it's definitely inferable at this point.
Okay. Epsilon, I have a question.
Okay.
How much do you actually know about Sigma? Because the vision dream, I'm not entirely sure what it was, and I'm not entirely sure if it was true, has led me to believe that it was her plan to get me to Ambervale and within this party from the beginning.
Well, to be honest, I know next to nothing about Sigma. I mean, I didn't even know she existed until I came to Ambervale. And even then, I didn't even know she was my sister until I think it's just thinking now. It's has to be last month or some shit. And even then, she was never one to really talk about herself anyway. So, but that makes sense. She has been doing shady stuff behind the scenes a lot. That's pretty much all she's been doing.
How do you feel about her personally then, other than the shady does not seem positive?
The only thing I can say for certain about Sigma is that whatever she's doing, she really believes in it.
It doesn't necessarily.
I don't know why. Yeah. Well, why do you ask about her? You said because you saw she was in your vision. She brought you to Amberville. I mean,
yeah. I don't want to say tricked me into getting to Ambervale, but basically made the means available for me to make it to Ambervale. Under false
what else did you see her do?
But somehow she magically turned into someone who worked at the establishment that me and my friend were at. Told us we had won some kind of contest. That's how we made it to Ambervale to begin with. But before that, she was sitting talking to Okram LaFour at a table. I don't necessarily know what he was talking about, but she made it seem as though, for whatever reason, he would need her, essentially. She was trying to get him to do something. I don't know what it was. And said that whatever she had to give, something about that him and perhaps his boss would be interested in it and would be very upset if they did not obtain it. I don't know. I didn't know he had a boss. As much as I knew about them, I had nothing. Would I have known that? I feel like she was like a stan.
I mean, so in particular, boss being vague, you could come to a few conclusions. The only one you would be aware that like the entire World's Fair answered to the Commissioner of Culture.
Oh yeah. Oh, and he was a bad guy.
Yeah, he was the one that ultimately was revealed to be the Bark Dragon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hmm.
Anyway, she made it seem as though she had something that they wanted, that they needed. He kind of dismissed her, said that she didn't have anything that he could possibly want, but nevertheless, she made sure after that conversation to make that we were going to make it to Amberville for the World's Fair. So I don't know if that means that I have that something or my friend had that something, but since she made it a point to also add me to the party after my friend's demise, I'm wondering if it's me, and I'm not sure what to think about that.
Hmm. That does sound concerning.
That's
I
why
don't
I
know.
asked
I mean,
what you knew about her, but
I just wonder what she's trying to give. Was it just you, like you said? I mean, because well, from what I remember, we talked, and the thing she was excited about doing was bringing back Upsilon. It seemed like. Are these things connected though, in some way?
of
Like,
that I can't be sure. I don't think it's actually me that they would want, but perhaps maybe what I can do.
why does she care to give it to Okram in the first place? Is my question.
Now that I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't have an answer for that one. I just know what I heard, and I don't know if it was true or because I don't know how all of that worked in the veil there.
Well, I feel like my instinct is to trust the visions, although who knows?
Yeah. Well, if they're to be trusted, then I mean, I feel like you already knew that Sigma was not to be trusted, but it seems like it goes deeper than we think.
Yeah, I don't know what she's up to, what she's trying to do. It's something big, something crazy, I think.
This conversation is happening in front of all of us, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Could it not be that she's trying to garner support for your brother Upsilon? Shoring up defenses on all sides, grasping and creating alliances with those who might have plans?
But then
That would be a
why
powerful alliance, but
what would she need an Okram for?
That I don't know.
And
A simple possibility is the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
that's what I was thinking. Okram and Epsilon working together would be something else.
mm,
But I don't know. Would Upsilon even go for something like that?
Mm, well, you would know better than any of us, but what I will say, in
I
terms of
guess
Ogram in general, the uh, the the amulet that I had when I spoke to Angwin before we left, I'd asked him previously if there was a way to kind of reverse the powers of the amulet. So, because I'm going to say, okay, my friend also had one. And when she was killed by the dragon, her powers were essentially sent to Okram using the amulet that he gave to her. So I asked Angwin if it was possible to reverse the effects. So if he were to die, his powers would be absorbed into the amulet as well. When we got back, he said that his part would be done. Hopefully it is, but That's why I say it might not necessarily be myself that he's after, but what I can do. So he's looking for me to die. Maybe that's why she sent me. She thought I would not. Maybe she thought I wouldn't survive. But
I mean,
How would she know
that's
what you
there's a
and your
couple close
friend could
calls
do?
here and there.
how would she know what?
How would she know what the two of you could do?
I had never noticed her before, but in the vision, it seemed like she knew who we were. So she may have been watching us, and we just had no idea.
I mean, you performed, right?
Yes and no. And Keep Kolak, most of the people who performed actually had. My powers aren't necessarily for performance, and that's normally what
Mm,
went on there. But
I see. I see.
where we were in Keep Kolak. We were at home. So it was, again, it's possible she had been watching us, and we just had no idea. Because when
My bad.
when
I
she
didn't mean to.
approached us, she was a little old man. So she could have been watching us for who knows how long, and we had no idea. A little old man. Mhm.
I didn't mean
Do y'all
to
shapeshift?
stereotype you. I'm sorry.
Do all y'all shapeshift? I didn't know that was a
I
thing.
mean, I don't. Not well. Other than this, I guess. I guess. Can I try? Can I try to like
He's like, can I
like
shape shift,
just
guys?
look like I looked like before? I guess.
Oh my god. Okay.
You want to try to like suppress yourself?
Just to
The
see if
looks.
I need to like walk through somewhere and not be a fucking a red flag. Could I?
Let's call
Literal
this
red flag.
a knowledge arcane. We're going to call
Okay.
this
You're welcome.
a
That's some questions that you
18.
didn't know.
Okay, I got a 5 in that, so hopefully something works out.
Well,
That was close.
Got
It was
16.
close.
Close. So you're like, as you kind of like muddle around with it in your head, like, you're like, in theory, it's possible. You don't know how much of like your physical self you could just suppress without having to spend some real arcane energy into like manifesting kind of like an illusion on self. But you're like, in especially like the bloody dripping wings part, you should be able to like suppress that, even though the blood doesn't
Okay.
actually like cause like a mess, as it in and of itself is kind of like an illusion. That part you feel like you could, with some practice, suppress. The other draconic features maybe not so much.
Yeah, I guess could I try, since we're on the topic, I guess could I try to make my wings look like a cloak instead?
Yes, we are going to call that. So would you like to try to manipulate your magic via your Stygian nature, or would you like to attempt it with arcane?
For some reason that is always a scary question. I feel like oh I feel like I'm gonna do arcane because I'm just like doing some like illusion stuff. I'm not trying to like actually turn it like I'm not trying to do some spawn
Yeah.
stuff, basically.
All right. I got you. So yeah, we'll do arcane. We're gonna treat your spellcasting arcane as a non-combat for this role. We are looking for I'm gonna say 16 because you haven't done it before.
Yeah, I got a 4, so we'll see how this goes.
oh,
Okay, it just said one off, so
Oh,
I guess that's
close.
how it goes.
For everyone watches for a second as he like spins his hands and is trying to like manipulate it. His wings kind of like soften a little bit and like drape more towards the ground rather than being so like placed like wings. But then it's like as if they like spring back and like flick the arcane off.
Flick it off. Just
Yeah, that's gonna take a little bit of practice. But before I distracted everybody with this, what were we talking about?
On a quick different note, because I am a generous game master, let's go ahead and get 2 d20 rolls for Tavish real quick.
3 now.
Oh, 3 now. Sorry, my apologies.
ooh.
Yes, please.
Just like
He's like, Put
He
some
said,
respect on it.
put some
And
respect
any
on it.
oh wow, and anything under a 14 is now a 14. If I remember reading that narrative
Wow.
correct.
Oh,
Yeah,
So that's
so
all of
I
them.
You needed
3
that.
Mm-hmm. So smooth with it.
Yes.
Nice.
I
He's like,
believe
oh, and
that's,
by the way,
anything
I'm a
under
boss.
anything
So,
under a 14 becomes a 14. Could that be repeated for me real quick? I believe you have that now. Right?
Absolutely. I'm double checking narrative as well, make certain that I had that correct. At the start of the day, roll 3d20s and save them for later. All 3 rolls have a minimum of 14.
Perfect. So you have 3 14s. Cool.
Yep.
Nice.
Perfect. All right.
does that mean we like to
Is
fight?
is there anything that anything else that the party would like to bring up in this, or are we ready to land in Ambervale?
Um,
Did anyone else want to talk about what they saw?
Although, if we do see her, what are we going to do? Real quick.
Sigma?
Fight.
Oh,
I mean, I feel like I should try to convince her to come to our side, but I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what I could even say to her.
okay.
Well,
Well,
if
Other
you
than
don't
just
mind
that,
me saying,
Upsilon is going to destroy everything.
But I feel like she
you
kind of
might,
already knew that. That's like what when she freed him in the first place.
and it's also a question of how much is she following him, and can you get her to follow you like you did with Colbjorn?
because
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, did she do any of this
We
on her
got,
own, or was it all because he told her that?
she was doing this far before Upsilon was out of that prison.
But just
Yeah,
because
but
he
was it
wasn't
all
out
just
doesn't necessarily mean that he couldn't.
I mean, it was all part of a plan to break him out in the first place, anyway, right?
I mean, when I
Aye,
see her, maybe
but
maybe I'll be able to tell what kind of
Mm-hmm.
hold he has on her. If it's
Okay.
the way I was holding Colbjorn, or if it's the way that Ace is.
Okay. 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 All right. I'm sorry. Does anyone else like to share? We have probably 2 minutes.
I think
believe
Tavish was
that
saying
is
something.
aye. As we went through the Grey Keep, I couldn't help but wonder if any of you had regrets or reasonable doubt as to keep travelling together. Now knowing the past and how Lyris, how I caused the Age of Darkness.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that you and I are connected. I need you to help fix it. So,
Aye,
whether you like it or not, I don't have a choice. we stuck together at least.
Oh.
I don't know about the other two.
Well, me personally, it seems as though clearly y'all are 2 different people now.
That's
death
true.
does change a man.
I mean,
But
we've all
there's
died
also
at
the
least once or
no
twice.
small part of I'm the reason why your mother changed, Epsilon. As she went from being a goddess of nurture to the mother of monsters.
That's true. But the way I see it now, your path could potentially lead to her restoration. And besides, not only have you saved my life on several occasions, but if it was not for what you did, I would not have been born.
If I would have done what I was intended, you wouldn't have.
Oh.
But like Sequoia said, that's a different man from at least 2 lifetimes ago.
Hey,
I said that.
Sorry, Lyra.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
That's
That
what
was the
happens.
lady.
Misquoting people. You can't. You gotta get
I was
that
like, I
copyright
definitely
done,
didn't
the trademark.
say
I mean, it just from what I saw, it just seems that you have very different points of view at this stage. So since you went, since you made the choices you made, I personally am not entirely worried about it. I wouldn't say if I'm worried it has anything to do with that. There's just a lot of things going on that I have yet to understand.
I do have to ask you though, Tavish,
Aye.
what your goal still is. Are we still focused on setting things right? Or are you wanting a little extra revenge?
Need I need to do and right what I had wronged in my first life.
That's the answer to the question.
By what means?
By any means necessary.
Mm, I feel like he's avoiding the question. Revenge, yes or no?
But are we about restoring Daphos and fixing Mavena? Or are you going after
Aye.
your own vengeance?
I hope to make you whole again.
I, I have a couple questions also.
Mm,
One,
like he's
what are you
making
gonna do
choices.
with that, Tavish? Point at that like the gem, the power that he got now. This damn fucking whatever it's called, that doohickey.
Mhm.
The weapon, the weapon.
That thing you got in your hand.
Aye.
What do you plan to use that for?
Well, weren't we supposed to be bringing that back?
The king wanted
Yes.
it.
Oh my
But
Aye.
bad.
The king may
I
want
don't
it,
I,
but
think that's the
I
best
had a feeling
choice.
you might say something like that.
This interaction is making me rethink my response.
So
Because
I
you
ask again, what do you plan to do with that, Tavish?
I hope it never has to be used. I've seen what it does once to this world. I don't know if I feel comfortable letting it bring ruin twice.
okay, now look here. I know you like to. I feel like you like to embellish a lot of your sentences with a lot of unnecessary words and then leave out words that are completely necessary. I need you to speak plainly for once.
It's me like a politician. I see why he was king.
Old habits.
For real though, he filibustering like shit right now.
You
Mm-hmm.
sure is.
He is avoid. He is
This
avoiding
motherfucker
answering.
beating
He's
around the bush,
avoiding
all
answering.
around the
He's
bush.
avoiding answering the questions. I feel like he's giving us half the information. A half truth is still a lie, sir. You are no
Ding,
longer.
ding,
I was like, I'm over
ding,
here like
ding.
you made it a point to ask us how we felt about it. I thought that you and Lyris were two different people, and he was the king, and he talked. You were not the king anymore. I need you to take it a step down. Speak
No,
plainly.
but
Say
I'm
what you
still
mean.
being watched. I'm still being watched as if I was still the king.
So you can't say.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Epsilon.
Oh, that's convenient.
Can I sense motive on this man?
Of course.
On the suit of armor.
Absolutely. Let's see here.
Let me see what my numbers say.
We're going to
I know I got like
do.
negative
We're going to
3.
do. It's insight, and base. ultimately, Tavish, I'm going to allow you to pick to be whatnot. But right now, to elude information, it would be deception. Even if deception is not even if you're not lying, if you are withholding, etc., deception would be it.
Listen, I tell y'all right now, I got a big 1 in insight.
Tavish is not trying. I will not roll Tavish's deception.
Yeah, because he has like a 15. Let's not do that.
So what
6.
what would you like?
So
What would you
plus
like
8.
to what would you like to replace it with?
I would not like to roll anything. I am trying.
Well, so you have to. So you can either be honest, you can either explain, or you have to replace it with something.
Like I guess, but also from my end.
So real quick. Basically, treat this like if Epsilon was interacting with an NPC, I would have to give him something to roll off versus. So I need one of yours to like. Is he not saying this because he's gonna use intimidation to go like stop asking questions? Is this like is he trying to persuade Epsilon to stop asking questions? Is he putting on a performance? Is he lying? Like, or not lying, but is he trying to withhold information by other like I need one to
performance.
Performance. Cool. So, and just so you know, Epsilon winning this role does mean you have to give an explanation.
I'm just trying to get the vibe. I'm trying to understand. What is he asking of me right now? Is he asking me to trust him? Basically, you know what I mean? Like, is it just that he wants trust? Is he being secretive because he's on some fuckery, or is it just like I said, it's like he just can't say, and he just wants us to trust him? That's basically what I'm trying to do on my side.
If that's the case, because
he's like deception.
Oh,
I'm just like looking at this guy. Like I've traveled with this man for who knows how long at this point. We done died and came back. Like, what is he doing right now?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do diplomacy. +4.
Diplomacy +4. For diplomacy, give me an example of how you want to try to use diplomacy in this regard.
That's what I was going
to
ask.
Trying. So, do you want me to do it verbally, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah,
I'm
trying to figure out.
Well, what if he wins? He tells me what he gives me.
Well, so my bigger thing about this is I'm trying to figure out. So you've said something, right? So Tavish has said something. Epsilon is trying to know what that is, like know the truth of why or what he is doing. I don't think diplomacy is. I can accept. Is a viable option because this isn't a spoken bit by Tavish. So Tavish, this is like you're talking. You can tell Epsilon has switched from like, oh, we're talking to like he starts to examine how your armor shifts, the pause in your voice, the trill, in your speaking. You can tell you're being examined. So in defense to this, would you put on an air of deception? Would you put on an air of intimidation? Would you put on a performance?
It's gonna
put on the chop
or seduction.
He gonna seduce his way out. That's what my daddy did.
Said accent,
just like my daddy.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It would be deception.
Deception.
It would have to be deception.
All right. So let's see here, real quick. That means
I got a good old 1.
We're going. So we will get Tavish's roll first, and Tavish is all right. So we'll roll Tavish's deception, which is going to be a +10.
Told you.
So this is basically like. I would say if he wins, I just only see what he saw, pretty much, right?
What he
was showing.
Now we get Epsilon's insight.
Insight.
Please, God, please. Roll good, Derek. Hey, I have unimpeachable eyeballs. The insight I feel in this moment is immeasurable. Just
Uh-oh.
So I will
Oh,
allow
this is good or bad.
Tavish to add on to this if he so desires. But for the nat 20, so Lyra Sequoia, none of this is information gets to go to you. For you Epsilon,
I figured it out.
as you start to look at Tavish and try to really look at Tavish, you know, he's this gaunt figure, he's this suit of armor, but there's a person there, you know, and you've traveled with him, you're his friend. Maybe that's a stretch. You've shot fireballs at the guy. But as you see his armor he's hesitant, and unlike Tavish, he kind of yields space a little bit as the party continues to speak at him, going come, why, what is it, what aren't you telling? There's this withdrawal from Tavish, not physically, but you can tell that this looming set of armor has something that he's trying to keep safe, trying to keep to himself. There's something else to it, but it's not guarded out of some form of malice towards the party, but something personal to him. And because of your 20, I will reward. I will give a level of. I will let Tavish here speak if he wants to add anything to what Epsilon has, and then we'll go into what the bonus of your 20 can be here for a second. Tavish, was there anything you would like to add?
Absolutely. You can tell Epsilon that his word choice is not because he's afraid of what you would think, but he's afraid almost as if somebody else is going to hear him.
I already know.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just
And I'm sorry.
I can let it be. Then I forgot my other question that I had earlier. Damn.
So as a bonus to your 20, I will allow you to delve deeper in your examination, or respect and let it lie.
I feel like this is a moment that is about trust. Trust in the comrade, and if it comes back to bite me in the ass, I will have to destroy him.
Well, you hit him often enough. I mean, it's not like that's gonna be anything.
You haven't destroyed him yet, so.
With that, the party arrives in Ambervale.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, real quick though, I have one. I remember my last question.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm wondering, Sequoia, what happens if we succeed and we restore your pot of daffodils? What does that mean for you?
I don't really know, actually. I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like it's not about me. I'm just the means of it's like I'm just it's like I don't think it's going to affect me. It's more of I'm kind of a vessel to make it happen, I think. So
She's just along for the ride.
You're just along for the ride.
Join the club.
I think it could be, but it could also be you might become something more, something different than what's been before.
I don't think I'm going to become Eupotodaphos. I just think I'm going to be the one to kind of help restore, and I'm just gonna I'm the means to get her there, I think.
I don't say anything else. It's like these matters are too complicated for me right now.
Yeah.
So, as we arrive at Ambervale, the party, leaves the airship, talking, and being able to enjoy each other's company, something that they haven't been able to do for quite some time, and it is immediately interrupted.
Oh,
as
Yep.
as you
Rude.
exit the air barge. Immediately, Tim comes running up to you guys.
oh God.
Okay, okay, okay,
What
okay,
happened?
okay.
He's not used to running.
And he pulls out a scroll. Lyra and Sequoia, Anguin is requesting your presence immediately. Tavish and Epsilon, the king needs to see you right away. So please, Tavish, Epsilon, quick, with me.
Used to running.
Let's go. And he starts running back towards the king's quarters. Lyra and Sequoia, Anguin is requesting your presence. And
in this kind of situation, where I should probably send my follower individuals somewhere to hang out,
up to you. What do you want?
or should they come with me? Oh, I feel like I need to send them somewhere. I'm going to send them to go to our home and hang out in my room.
Oh God.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait,
listen,
their house get blown up? No, it got blown up. It got blown up. Didn't that shit get blown up?
No.
I swear the home was gone, wasn't it?
No.
When did the
Wait,
house
what
get
did
blown
happen to
up?
our home?
Why did our house get
What?
blown
Because
up?
I thought
you
I
had
didn't have
all
a-
the expensive stuff you sent to?
Okay, maybe not. I swear I thought something happened, but I think I just don't care about it anymore. Is what it is. I think that's what it was. It's dead to me in mentally. So I checked it. I
Bad
wrote it
vibes with
off.
all of your debt that you were in.
Did you just explode in buildings without?
I swear I thought something happened, but I think I just wrote it off because, like I said, mentally that he's done with that at this point. That the
Epsilon's
comfort
like,
ain't comforting no more.
he's like, I paid off all my debts. I finally own all the nice amenities in my room. I don't care about it anymore.
Yeah, I send them to go hang out at the crib. Stay here
problem,
until I
kid.
call for you.
I would-
Tim like turns back around and realizes you're not like running with him, and he's like, "Guys, the king!" What were you going to say, Tavish?
I'll hold off. I guess I will walk after Tim.
You're like, I ain't running.
Damn.
That's a
Like,
bold
I'm
strategy.
Wow.
Well, because
can't
remember,
wait
he
to
doesn't
come
want
in.
he doesn't want him to have the gem. So
Mm.
I guess I will also walk with Tavish. I feel wrong even doing that.
Constantly,
You can't
Tim
ask for me.
is like jogging in place, like, guys, the army's been deployed to the mud fort. Like, what? And like he starts
I better
running
go.
ahead.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Tim, and he can take his sweet time. That's fine. Someone's got to show face.
I'm
We'll,
really
uh,
hoping
we'll-
not
we'll
going
start-
to the mud
Tavish will
fort.
pick up his step a little bit, but not like he's not gonna run after. We
That
just
right up.
we just got a nice little break on an airship after the last one crashed. People
Look,
can
50
wait.
50% success rate.
Not bad.
We will start with Lyra and Sequoia at Anguin's though. As the two of you reach Anguin's, the Mages Guild, unlike any other time before, where there's someone at the door kind of greeting you, you can tell this place is like, I mean, zipping and going. Like people are like sprinting from different like stations and like scribbling scrolls and going like, no, that's the wrong, and like crumpling them up and like throwing them aside. As you can tell, like they're like all rushing around. You kind of enter like, this is not how this usually is. One of the mages sees you and just kind of goes like, he's upstairs, and like runs to another part of like the mages like guild and starts doing another like task. As you
Yeah.
head up the stairs, you you see none other than good old Cicero, the mage that you saved from Nulhix, nervously like scribbling on scrolls, and like around him, like there are little pens mirroring what he's doing. So he's like mass churning out like scrolls. You do see in his like little pouch, he like scribbles a scroll and he like puts them into different bins and jars, and then those bins and jars like lift up and head downstairs. There's one set of scrolls, extremely ornate, very different from the others, though they are identical, and they sit on his person. Inside Anguin's quarters is multiple like mirrored versions of Anguin doing different tasks, and one just kind of like sitting behind his desk, and he looks up at you as you walk in. Ah, yes. Good to see you. His cates bow to you.
Of course.
So creepy.
Everybody seems pretty busy.
Well, the entire army has been deployed down to the mud fort. So,
What's going on up? What happened?
oh, well, the siege is going to start soon. But that's not why you're here. That's King Dribble.
Oh.
I have 2 things to make good on for the both of you. One will take longer than the other, and one we don't have time for, so we'll start with the one we don't have time for. Sequoia, I can tell you've changed. I presume this is different Hederas.
Yeah.
Delightful. You still feel hollow in comparison. I have to imagine you don't know how to sprout your own heart, do you?
No.
Well, I have found ways to do that in my own studies, and I have a few ways we could jumpstart that process, but time does not allot it for now, so you'll have to come and see me, well, after all of this.
Okay.
And Lyra.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls out the trinket. I do believe I'm ready to try, if you're willing to help me, that is.
Well, what do I need to do?
Well, we're just going to take a quick journey into the arcane and, well, physically reverse the attachment.
Okay.
He said, take it out and turn it around.
I almost like, I don't know if that tells me what I need to do, but sure, that explained the process, but not necessarily what I need to do.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a rift of sorts into the maelstrom that is the arcane. It's similar to a plane, but it's less organized. From there, we just simply need to follow the path that will be presented by your crystal, and there we shall simply reverse its arcane flow from you to him to you. Simple enough. And as he goes and he like with his hand, he like it becomes imbued with the arcane, and he just slices down. No nice orchestration that he does before to make portals, and then he grabs it, and like little arcane appendages like grow off of him and start grabbing this rip and just kind of tear open this like scar in the air in front of you. It seems both 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional at the same time, as it like contort and like shifts around, very violently twitching. Well, in we go.
Oh, this doesn't seem simple at all, but okay.
Yes,
I guess we gonna
something.
walk through the handsy split.
I guess I'll wait here for you.
Cause I'm like, I assume you can't come with me. I don't know. We didn't ask.
Yeah,
Oh, it's fine. You could go if you so desire.
I'll wait here.
Yeah. Okay.
And as
That's cold.
as you step into the arcane, Lyra,
I don't know what's in there. I'm not going
Anguin's
in there.
head like kind of pokes in with you. So you're just going to follow that string, and as like you enter it, it is literally just a maelstrom of energy and magics flying all around, and the amulet in your hand presents like a small thread through the chaos. Oh, and by the way, don't let your mind wander. The arcane can be delicate. Good luck. And the portal or the tear closes behind you.
Said, good luck.
This is some bullshit.
So this string that's coming from the end of this amulet, can I only see it or can I feel it?
You can feel it because of the amulet in your hand. Like if you pull, it feels like there's a physical resistance, but your hand passes through it like it's not there.
So it's pulling me the way I need to go, essentially.
Mhm. Exactly.
Okay. Because part of me just wants, at this point, he said, don't let your mind wander. Part of me just wants to close my eyes and let it lead me where it will.
Perfect. As you get you're
Let's go
following
take the
this. It's just this. I mean, rush. Your hair is blown to the side. You're like you you have to like bundle yourself up. It's not cold. It just feels. It feels like like there's 50 epsilons around you, all trying to just cast spells in random directions at like the same time. Torrents of fire, of like nature magic, of raw arcane untapped energy, just are like in all directions.
Well, thank goodness I'm not Tavish. I would have been hit.
Ow, 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 ow. As you continue, as you continue down, it becomes harder and harder to not let your mind wander, because you realize, what is your mind wandering? Is it when you start thinking about things that don't matter, or is it when you overly fixate on things that do matter? What that probably should have given you more instructions than just kind of pushing you into whatever this place is, and then you kind of like refocus on following the string.
Mm-hmm. I would start singing. Honestly, I'm over it. Like,
As
better if I just start singing in my head, because we're not going to think about anything else. We got
you
to get through
sing,
this.
you're singing songs to yourself, and then before you know it, I mean, she always sung around you. You're hymning and singing along to one of the songs that Valkyrie would sing when the two of you were together.
Of course.
And then it's as if this thought connects you to something else, to someone else. And all of a sudden it's hot. It's warm. As you continue to follow this string along, you hear this gravelly voice speaking out from some direction. You're not quite sure from where, but you hear, if we don't do something, they're gonna keep taking from our Cabela's over and over and over. So, you four are gonna have to work with me if we ever want this to stop. And you see these small creatures, Draculans, you believe they're called, moving in this group, all following this unmistakable blue Draculan,
No,
the same one
little
you saw in Vice. As you continue pulling your way closer and closer and closer to the end of this, it keeps getting warmer and warmer, and you start to feel sand beneath your feet despite the ripping torrents of arcane energy. You see a city ablaze. Screams echo as you hear, "Keep fighting! Push them back! Show no mercy! We have to break the gate! We can't break the gate! They're too strong!" A resistance. A battle. It's being fought, but not one. Not alone. A wing beat. In a shadow. And then fires and flames in a cacophony of noise and sound. Beautiful. Haunting. You remember this sound. It echoed above Ambervale. The very night that Valkyrie lost her life. You stand in the center of a ruined city, the string in your hand, and you see in front of you now Okram. You see him right there.
What a nigga. Get that look off the face.
He stares, and he is so overjoyed. A smile from ear to ear as he looks down as Breakspear is giving a speech. "Brothers, sisters, members of my new Cabela, we have overthrown this city. And while we have lost many, we have for sure stopped a far greater amount of pain that we would have suffered. I have to thank, of course, Okram and the Thespians and the Commissioner for their help." There's a level of disdain in the beginning of the sentence, though it seems to let up with talk of the Commissioner. "But this place can never be our home. It is a scar, a wound on our people. And while we have removed the cancer that it represented, we cannot stay here. More of them will come. They will want vengeance on us. So we leave this place behind a memory. But a memory we can heal from, now that the wound is no longer open." He goes to speak another word, and the Commissioner gives him a hand as if to say, "Pause." Breakspear, with no hesitation, looking at the Commissioner, gives him a polite, nod. You could tell there's something different about this individual that you know as Breakspear. He seems hardier than he was before. In comparison to the rest of the Draculans around him, he seems bigger. Stronger, perhaps. The Commissioner of Culture steps forward. "Draculans, I hope that all of you, understand that I did this all to bring you into a larger Cabela, as you would say. My Thespians, my World's Fair, was broken and torn apart. And still it needs to rebuild. And I think that all of you can be part of that healing, and I a part of yours. But there is another that wishes to speak, and we shall hear her words." As if before even seeing her, just at the mention of her, you just knew. As if walking through you, because you're not truly here, you see Sigma.
Heifer.
Mm-hmm.
standing in front of all the Draculans.
I am still moving, correct?
Yeah, you are basically shoulder to shoulder with Okram at this point.
I mean, like, I'm still walking is this scene
Yeah,
following me? Because I would not.
You're like
Okay.
moving through it, and you're like at this point, like if you could physically touch Okram, you could you could put a hand on his shoulder.
Okay.
Draculans, this victory is great. You have brought yourself something that most that know this level of oppression never will. I come from a land in pain, a land suffering under a terrible, terrible regime, one that would justify its control over all else, and a people that are about to lose everything that they've worked for, everything that they've fought for. In the past, they knew freedom earned the same way that you earned yours today. But now all of it comes under attack and will be laid to ruin. So I have a question unfair to ask you. Will you come and aid these people who need you so very much?
Never.
The Commissioner of Culture looks over to Breakspear. I will not speak for our people, Breakspear. You are their champion. I ask you now, what would you have us do, my son? Breakspear looks down. His limbs begin to grow. Large wings sprout out from his shoulders, and he takes on a form that you had not seen of him before. But he stands rampant, and he roars, and he goes, "No! I say no to the oppressed! I say no to the oppressor! We will give freedom! We will bring peace! We will go to war!" And a gout of flame echoes from his mouth as you see Breakspear in this far more
He's a dragon now.
Drake-like form.
Look at him.
He's Spyro.
He made
He's
it.
Spyro.
But
He
I'm over
is.
here like, is the commissioner
He did
actually his
it.
father? Because this commissioner was the dragon.
The
So I'm like, is it
commissioner-
actually his father?
The commissioner goes, "Then to war we'll go. Make ready the preparations. I will prepare my magics. I will tear these arcane channels asunder, and we will find our way. And we will aid these people who need us so much." Standing in this victory formation, this group next to the commissioner is Okram, of course, Sigma. And as you turn more, you see that there's a whole group with the commissioner. One of which is Upsilon.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bag.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here we go.
Oh, bitch.
Okram steps forward, still within grasp of you, Orlena. Or, sorry,
Orlena.
Lyra. My apologies.
I'm back.
Still within grasp of you, Lyra. And Okram goes, "Well, this should be rather exciting. I have to say, I really do enjoy performing in front of an audience." And his eyes lock with yours.
Oh. He sees you.
The only person that's there.
Getting closer. I just gotta stare right back at him.
As
Fight me,
you
Helen.
get to the end of this string, standing basically chest to chest with Okram He just kind of keeps looking at you. Well, you're able to shift this magic, just like turning a key. And you feel it disconnect the channel from, like, directly, like, from you to him. But as you try to turn it more, it's too strained. It's too far. And he leans forward. And you can tell there are others who are, like, kind of looking at Okram like, what is he doing? But he puts his head, like, next to your ear. I guess you'll have to try this again in person, won't you? Well, till then, ta-ta. And you feel yourself being, like, pulled back towards Ambervale, distance, traveling, like, as the scene fades into obscurity. And then Anguin pulls you out with an arcane hand. Well, were you able to switch its polarity?
I definitely was not.
Bizarre.
He's waiting.
Why not?
Oh, it seemed as though he was waiting for me. He knew I was there. He looked right at me.
Anguin seems very alarmed by this and begins, like, churning through, like, different, like, journals. Like, all of his arcane forms, like, switch task from what they were doing to, like, just poring over different books.
He looked at me and specifically said, I guess you'll have to try this again in person, and sent me back.
Again, flustered, confused, and upset, Anguin is, like, pouring through things. I have much to do now. I will seek you out. The king is going to do an addressment. You can meet him at the steps of his chambers.
Okay, all right.
And for what it's worth, Lyra, I apologize that I came up short in this exchange.
Well, I don't think it's your fault entirely, but it seems as though you were still trying to figure it out. And I hope that you can.
Over in the king, at the king.
Wait.
Oh, sorry.
Are we leaving? Because I kind of wanted to see if I could get one of the little scrolls out his little pouch, Cicero, out in the hallway.
Oh, you want to try to steal one?
Yeah, I want to know what it is.
Let's do a stealth check, and we're going to call this a stealth 20.
Oh no, I got a 3.
As like,
I have to act like I
as
bumped
you-
into him. My bad.
you, like, try to get, like, a closer look and be inconspicuous, but there's just so much random happening, and there's so many people using, like, astral projections and things like that the amount of eyes, like, around, even though it's chaotic, is just too much, and you're like, I'm just gonna leave.
Maybe next
Like-
time.
Tavish and Epsilon, as you reach the king's the throne room, basically. It is a hustle and bustle. I mean, people are, like, running in and out of rooms. Again, it's a similar scene of everyone's doing a bunch of tasks. As you make your way down the hall, Epsilon, you can't help but be distracted at one of the rooms. As you glance inside of it, you see that it's Jin, Darian. It's Orlina. Unmistakably, you feel the same energy as that golden orb from the gray, echoing from inside the room.
Yo, Dad.
As you try to, like, look a little further, your father steps through the doorway and closes the door behind him.
It's not for your eyes.
Can I say? I don't know if I have to like say, but while we're on the way over, can I be telling Sequoia what I saw?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, that's it. That's
Sequoia,
all. That's all.
you may now operate as if you were privy to the information. That
Cool.
Because I would be telling her. So
So I got news for you.
Typhon stands before Epsilon.
oh god.
So, tell me, did you blink? As he just stares down at you.
Blink for what?
No.
You see his
No.
face is like, it's still in its scowl, but unmistakably there's that little like tiniest little flicker of a grin.
Oh my god.
And
Did
he
you make your
puts his
daddy
hand,
proud?
he puts his hand on your shoulder for a second and goes, maybe there's still hope for you. And he goes to go back in the room.
That was some good advice. It redeemed one of your sons. And I'm not talking about me.
I can't be redeemed.
He looks over his shoulder at you. That's good.
There's nothing else to say. It's too awkward.
Okay.
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 But it tracks.
Right.
Good luck to you as well.
And he goes back in his room.
Damn. Okay, bye.
You and
Maybe
Tavish
they'd be
make
ready.
your way down the hall to the king. No, we'll start the procession here soon. The king barks out to someone. No, Angwin will catch us up to the front lines. Don't worry about it. Oh, good. Tavish, Epsilon.
Your Majesty.
I trust your mission was a success then.
Sure.
I look at Tavish.
Tell me you were able to secure the weapon then.
We have the weapon, though I fear its potency might have diminished.
Liar.
That matters not. I will have you hand it to me then. And Tavish, in this, the chaos of this room, people running around as you lock eyes with the king, you understand that there is a choice ahead of you.
Uh-oh.
You have two options.
Treason? No.
You have surrender the Kingmaker, or lie, saying only you can use it.
Why you gotta put god dang ah!
Freaking
Exactly.
Passacore there on it.
Exactly.
I will have the weapon now, Tavish.
You will have no such thing, sir.
What you gonna do?
Your Majesty is free to have it, but I worry that it will not respond to your touch.
What do you mean?
I fear that the last hands that touched it are the same hands that must use it again.
Are you telling me that only you can wield the Kingsmaker?
Yes.
Yes, my lord. Your Majesty. I worry that I alone Maybe the only one to use it.
Dum dum.
I am
Dum,
going
dum,
to
dum,
give Epsilon. You are going to roll a resist magic. The number to beat is 19.
Ooh.
What the heck?
Ooh.
I don't like that.
He's like, I'm just here for
I
the
got a
ride. What
5.
happened?
That's a 17.
Which
Damn.
real quick, which do you have the where's your face? Epsilon. Yes, so you have you have the path of poly. You have the 5%
Yes.
plus 5. Yeah. So that is a pass with since it is a Stygian effect.
Oh.
You feel this like issuing, this uttering, this phrase, and for a split second, you look at Tavish and you're like, "Of course, only he can use it." And you just there's a second where you just accept it blindly that what he's saying is true. As his words ripple out, the king immediately is like,
All right. Well.
so only he can wield this weapon. Everyone at the table, his court, all of this, they go, only Tavish can use the weapon, only Tavish can use the weapon, only Tavish can use the weapon. As if all of them are put under, like accept this fully. You've heard Tavish speak names like croupier before, though you never knew exactly what that meant or what that was. But as Tavish is speaking in this moment about only he can use the weapon, the hand is it's only his to wield, the last hand, like these words come out of his mouth, you see this ghoulish figure that your mind connects as croupier, like floating above Tavish, and his form dances with the words he speaks as more and more of the people in the court are like, only Tavish can use it, only Tavish can use it, only Tavish can use it. And Tavish, you may finish what you were saying.
I request that Guildmaster Angwin be allowed to inspect the weapon.
That might be able to be arranged. We'll have to see. We're going to be starting the grand processional down to the gate. Angwin will be there to teleport us all. Well, at least you all. But time can be arranged. We have to make our moves to the Mud Fort. To battle and to glory. With me, heroes. And he starts like walking, and this like his knights gather around him, his honor guard, other heroes, as you pass down the other group of heroes. Typhon, Darian, Jin, and Orlina are also walking. Epsilon, you keep trying to see the other member, though their form is obscured for you. Always a person in the way, or like a cloak or a robe. As you exit, as the processional begins to exit the throne room, your Lyra and Sequoia are swept up into it immediately, as you're like, so are we just supposed to wait here? And the doors like burst open and trumpets.
Oh, I need to send for my people.
As you're heading down the stairs, and you're like making your way through like the commons and whatnot, the area that you would turn into the heroes districts, you already see Tim like running out with Ace and Colbjorn in tow, Sean E and Lavender as well, as they're like all right, okay, and they like kind of get pushed in and are now with the party as you continue your way towards the gate. At the actual gates themselves, a large crowd of people have gathered. On the main like stage, if you will, is the orcs Galatrax and Gumby. Galatrax himself looks a little battle-worn himself already. His skin covered in a bit of mud. His shoulder, his like armor, a little dented and wrought. But you guys make it to the stage. The king begins an addressment to the crowd. Already our armies have been sent to the mud fort, to the first wall, as they call it. We are with our backs against the wall. The fulcrum ever approaches, and so far Upsilon has remained a threat we cannot deal with. But that changes today. These heroes, and he gestures to you four. These heroes went into the Twilight Vale, braved unknown horrors in a cursed land, and they brought back a weapon. He reaches and he grabs Tavish's arm. Tavish shall be our champion.
Oh,
He is the wielder of the light that can bring low Upsilon. He will be our salvation in the battles to come. Undoubtedly, the heroes that travel with him, Lyra,
What just happened?
Epsilon, and the champion of humanity, Sequoia.
You got second fiddle now.
What just
Your
happened?
second banana now.
That's
will be
okay. Look,
great
even
aid.
I have a title.
I'm
and you
up.
don't.
Will
I'm
bring
unnamed
great
Banana 4.
aid to Tavish in the battles to come. And though I do not have time for pomp and ceremony, and perhaps even he is unfit for the title, is a different title he should carry, as he speaks and looks at Tavish. I knight Tavish, champion of the crusade to come, exemplar of Ambervale. In him we trust everything.
Tavish, what just happened?
In these heroes, we trust everything. To victory! And everyone cheers. To victory!
I'm not entirely sure what we walked into.
What just
While
happened?
everyone's cheering, I just want to look at Tavish and be like, you got some explaining to do when we get out of here.
Tavish is not even going to acknowledge him at the moment. I would like to go ahead and make I would actually like to use my 14 for an inspire roll to inspire all the troops that are about to go into war.
Oh, shit.
So just so you can 100% use Inspire here. Just to clarify, though, you are not in front of soldiers. You are in front of like the citizens of Ambervale.
I'm going to still do it to
Cool,
encourage.
I just want to make sure, yeah, you had the setting correct.
Gotcha.
All right. I'm gonna just, or I'm not gonna put a challenge rating on this dice. We're gonna roll, and basically the only thing you're looking to not get is a 1. And you wanted to use one of your 14s.
Exactly. So it's 14 plus 5, which should be 19. So
Perfect. So a 19, and then how would you like to flavor this?
oof, that's tough. Clearly I'm ready to go. People of Ambervale, fear not, for the crusade shall be swift and just, and all those abroad shall soon be home. We shall make it so.
This is sweet.
The crowd is like, Tavish, 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 Tavish. The king,
What is
the
happening?
processional, the party is led out off the stage into, or like in front of the city, where Angwin awaits, like casting his portals and pulling open a rather large one as the processional begins to start to walk through the honor guard and things like that. the king speaks directly to you, the party, and Miles, Maceborn, and that group, as well as Typhon and his group. Gumby and Galatrax have put forth great effort into procuring orcs that do not serve this dark leadership. I have assured them that when mercy can be spared, mercy shall be given. However, we are on a time clock. Keep that in mind. But we do not need to bleed those who do not bleed truly for this evil cause. Galatrax shall take over the war front as you pass through, as his knowledge of the first wall will prove invaluable. Good luck, heroes. And Typhon and his group, Gumby, Galatrax, Miles, Maceborn, and his group begin walking through the portal.
Oh gosh. So we about to go through in a second. Epsilon, do you have any reason to believe that Sigma might be orc?
I mean, she could be anything. Truthfully, she looks. I mean,
I mean, when we were in the mud fort before, we were told that like orcs were more of a
It's a way
state
of
of
life.
mind. Yeah, that
Not
one.
necessarily.
What do you mean by that?
Not like a.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I had not. I don't want to say vision of sorts, but a vision of sorts, and it was kind of, we'll say, in the realm of the arcane. And I saw her, and she was rallying up some Draculin, the little lizards, and said that her people were in trouble and they were oppressed and they needed help. And it just made a little bit of sense based off of what's going on now. So I was just wondering. So she rallied them up to go take them to help. Whatever. It seemed like they were going into battle. And we are very much going into battle. So I'm wondering if it is indeed the same battle. Possibly.
Yes, no. So, we were supposed to be briefed, I thought, but no one has really explained much of what's going on in this next.
Yeah,
We're just going to the mud fort.
Tavish, what's going on with you as the wielder of the Kingmaker? What's that about?
Would you all
What is going on?
by the way, while this is happening?
So we what?
Kind of.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure you're not like standing in front of the portal. You're heading through the portal.
And was like,
have
hey,
a conversation.
are you going to walk
He's like-
through or not?
And we're just like,
Your conversation can continue then in just 1 second. As you step through the portal, you are like steps away from like the first wall. Already, like there are people like setting up barricades, and like arrows fly up at the first wall and down off of the first wall. As you step through, Galatrax sees you and goes, "Ah, heroes, please, over here." As
Tavish immediately kind of like goes to where Galatrax is, remembering kind of, this guy knows what he's doing. There's arrows being shot at us. I don't like this.
You would note that where you stand, you're like just out. You're like in the safety zone. Like you're past like what is like the longest range.
Gotcha.
So the plan is that we're gonna break through the first wall as quickly as possible, so that we can make it our way into the mud fort or the mud flats.
I'm still trying to figure out what is going on here.
And how do you suppose getting up the first wall while it's defended? Is there another way around?
No. The plan is we're going to entrench in our soldiers, and then heroes, well, we're going to do this a touch unconventionally. If you have the means to get yourself there, then you can do that yourself. Otherwise, well, and he gestures over to groups setting up like catapults, and they're like sizing heroes to be used as catapults.
I'm like this.
Not quite what I imagined, but
Can you fly
effective
on your own with those
nonetheless.
wings?
I haven't tried yet, but I can, I believe. I like doing like a couple test flaps. Like,
You are fairly certain that you should check your
no, I got that. I got that.
Okay.
I'm saying I haven't actually tried. Is all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
So like he's like
Okay,
testing the water.
Gotcha. In which case, yes. But you know, with some effort, you could fly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I like go up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's any safer than the catapult at this point now. I don't really-
Already strapped into one of the catapults is Miles Maceborn Duncan holding Matilda.
Of course he
Of
is.
course he is.
That's not a
With
surprise.
without hesitation, though he does kind of look back at Epsilon, Kolbjorn begins climbing in one.
I guess. Just just try not to kill anyone if you can help it.
We're kind of going into war. I think the goal is to.
They specifically just asked us. Remember, Gumby was saying, or he's talking about. We told Gumby we would not try to kill people unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Self
Okay.
defense.
Self-defense.
It's the way to be.
You can't argue with that logic.
You can't. You can't.
Luther Cano finds his way up into one of the catapults. Miles
Tavish
looks
will
over
look
at Tavish and goes like, "Oh, come on! Are you scared?"
I feel like I'm still getting in a catapult too, to be honest.
Tavish looks at, Duncan. Duncan? Why do
Miles
I
Maceborn Duncan.
Yeah.
Miles Maceborn Duncan. I remembered his last name. No, Master Duncan. Not afraid. Are ye? As Tavish goes to find a catapult to sit in.
Captain, I'm doing it too, Captain.
Oh God. I forgot he was even here, bruh.
Because remember,
He just
Ace.
saved his life.
Yeah.
No.
Does Ace look different, or does he just look normal aside from the skin growing over his chest hole?
It's not immediate, but there is you do note that there are some physical changes to you having used your power on him in that manner.
Mm.
So like more like the first time I got blessed, and not like the second time.
Yeah, exactly.
Evil.
He's just looking kind of spicy right now. He don't look like extra, like he's gonna burn you up looking ass.
No, he'll stab you.
Lavender and some of the other like different like ranged character like heroes and stuff are like preparing to like push up like on the ground to like be the distraction.
Be the distraction, so that they don't notice a bunch of people being launched into the air.
To get the you gotta get them firing somewhere.
Let me give him the signal.
It's either we go flying into the air and face arrows along the way, or they kind of like go up and start shooting to keep them down.
So, Tavish, Epsilon are both in catapults. Lyra, Sequoia, are you going to push up the hills on foot, or do you want to catapult?
Oh boy.
If we catapult, can we catapult together? Because we're like
we're both really
pretty
tiny.
small. Yeah.
we'll fit in one.
Yeah, I think so.
Sean G finds a catapult next to Sequoia's.
Of course he does.
They don't got the same kind of ring as they used to.
And as Galatrax on foot like starts the charge up towards like the base of the hill, and they start like getting like little minor fortifications, exchanging more arrow fire, and they push up the hill a little bit, and and like you start seeing all of these bizarre booby traps being like launched at them. They're having to like jump over these like like sliding like razor wires underneath the mud surface. Otherwise, they're getting like their ankles lopped off and things like that. Some people fail to make the jump and are just being drowned into the mud, even though they're only but steps into the Mudfort's territory.
I'm so glad I didn't go up there.
They start pouring just hot, like burning hot coals into the mud to cause like these pockets of just unseeable boiling mud to just seep around, and people like get singed on it and they jump to the side and then arrows riddle them as they fall over. The first wave of catapults get fired. At first, it's just normal, catapult ammunition. It's like, like tons of small rocks or medium rocks, some large rocks, just to get them to start taking cover in and start getting used to the rhythm of these catapults being fired. You see Lavender standing next to Galatrax, and he's just, popping out every once in a while, just firing his 6-shooters. It's hard to be too merciful with 6-shooters at range. Orcs fall by the dozens.
By the dozens.
The orcs start bracing the tops of their the mud hills with these like barbed sleighs and start just pushing them down the hill as they reach the like their impact point, and the spears like compress. They explode into splinters and shards, again causing more chaos and mayhem to all the soldiers that would be pushing up. Finally, it's time. The third volley of catapults is going. Ka-toom, 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 ka-toom.
Dear.
Each of you is launched, hurtling into the air towards a different tower. So Lyra, Sequoia, you're heading to one tower. Tavish, you're heading to another tower. Epsilon, you're heading to a tower. I will start with Lyra and Sequoia. You're in the air. You're coming down at this tower that sits at the top of one of these large mud hills. Easily 30, 40 orcs are like fighting at this tower. Some are pushing like these like counter siege weapons down the hill. Some are up with crossbows or bows. Some are just throwing things. You're flying down towards this tower. What would you do?
We're flying down. There. Okay. I don't know what part of the tower, but I imagine there's some there. I guess my first thought would be to try to like hit them with something, so try to like push them back.
To clarify real quick for everyone, these towers aren't like stone towers. These are like 4 large wooden posts that then have a platform where archers and stuff are, and then a secondary raised platform, and like a little spiraled ramp up to a ladder. Like, so these are very open wood-based towers, just to clarify. Sorry, Lyra. What would you do?
I feel like I said, if we're approaching it from like the sky, my first thought would be to like throw something at them to try to push them back.
Cool.
We trying to clear a spot because I'm about to land on a bunch of. I don't even want to be here. It's dirty.
I don't even want to be here.
This is a sound. This is a sound
right.
attack. So let's just see a sound attack roll.
That is awful.
That is
Would
atrocious.
you like to use your mastery?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna mastery that roll. Nothing like the first combat roll of the session having to immediately be mastered.
Hey, I got one more.
Always a good sign when it goes like that.
Still better
So-
than 2.
You let out this sonic pop to try to like push. Immediately, orcs are falling off the tower. You can tell, like, you realize in this moment as you let loose this attack, you haven't fought a non-hero in quite some time, especially not after having ascended to whatever blessings that Polly and Crow gave you. You watch as an attack that in your own mind would be middling at best. You wouldn't even be worried about this hitting Tavish, but it hits the top of the tower and it lays waste to orcs. Orcs fall off. There's a whole splinter, like the floor of the tower splinters and breaks a bit as you get closer to landing. Sequoia, would you be doing anything during this?
I think I just want to try to clear a landing so that we land kind of softly.
Perfect.
I want to try to like manipulate the mud to receive us.
Makes sense to me. So we're gonna do a spell casting earth attack. Let's see it.
Damn.
Would we like to use our mastery?
Yep.
Let's do it.
What is happening to us today?
Mastery level 2.
Please be better.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well, that's way better.
The shockwave hits and makes like a little opening. You realize as you're falling, the whole tower is made out of wood, so vines and branches sprout from it, knocking off these like orcs from the top of the tower, but then creating a small little bush for you and Sequoia, or you and Lyra to land in. And you two stand on the top of the tower. No orcs are on the platform that you are on.
Wait,
let's go over
do we know what we're supposed to do? What are we doing? Did they tell us?
Let's go over to Tavish.
They did not. They just said, get in the catapult.
Shit!
Try not to kill anybody.
Damn!
So Tavish, you are in the air, flying towards a tower. Yourself, you are heading alone to this tower.
I would like to use my Faith Wild magic to... This is going to sound ridiculous. I would like a portion of the tower on the upper level to almost come up high so I can grab it and try and pull the whole tower using my descending weight, trying to topple the tower over. We're going for some superhero level stuff right now.
Uh-huh.
Rear
Okay.
landing.
All right. We'll start that off with a Faith Wild roll. We're gonna to manipulate this since it's not an attack. We will call this a 19 to grow enough and to stabilize the tower enough for you to attempt to tear it down.
Okay. It's just a little bit too much for me to use the 14. Got it.
Oh.
Oh no!
Aw, that 20
was so good.
that 20 tease. All right.
So this will be a
so I'm
forced
not able
action
to-
for you, but you can continue like a combat action into the tower. Like this doesn't. It's not like you just land on the tower now.
Wait, I'm sorry. My
So like
computer was a
you're
little
in the
slow.
air, you try to make this manipulation. It's not quite there, so now you're readying yourself to land like on or like you're gonna make impact with the tower. Are you aiming for like the top like portion to like land on it? Do you want to impact into the tower? Like what are you thinking?
I'm gonna land on the top portion of the tower because you said it was 2-tiered.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I'll land on the top tier.
Perfect. You land into a heap of orcs. Would you do anything?
Let's go ahead and force an action of an attack, and this is just more of like sweeps to try and control as much area as well as push those who don't want to get hit, like off of the top tier.
Perfect. Let's see an attack roll from Tavish. This is a forced action.
Swing.
All right. So I gotta ask: Do you want to mastery it, or are we okay with a 13?
It would be an 11,
Yeah, you'd
because
be
of
minus
-2.
2 plus 1, so 12.
12. I'll take a 12.
12. Again, similar to Lyra, you realize you haven't fought many adversaries that haven't been heroes since your ascension. You land, and again, what you would consider an okay swing, you find just carves through these orcs around you. Weapons get in the way. You push aside their limbs as if you were fighting children. You swing through their bodies. 7, 8 orcs dead in a single swing.
This man's.
Epsilon. You're
Okay,
approaching the
so-
tower.
They're gonna be mad at us.
With my ability to fly, it says once per movement you may use your action attack or attack action to be able to fly.
Mhm.
Could I still force actions after that?
Yes.
Okay. I am gonna do that because I don't want to crash into the ground. It's like I'm just as he's flying through the air, he's just gonna like open his wings up to like
Mhm.
catch the wind to slow down, and then like I feel like I want to simultaneously like just like point a finger and like just I want to cut through the supports like on the side.
Mhm.
I guess so it falls back towards the mud fort and not down on the poor people that are coming. You know what I mean?
Arcane, fire, or Stygian?
Well, actually, okay. I'm gonna use arcane, but what I'm doing instead of doing that, I want it to crumple in place. You know, like
Oh.
a building demolition,
Yeah.
like just straight down.
All right, let's
But
see
yeah.
an arcane attack roll.
Please don't fuck me. That's +4 with this, or I have 4 arcanes at least.
Yeah, 4 arcane, so it'll be a +1 since you have a free forced action. Would you do we consider 12 good enough, or do you want to mastery that? 5.
I think I gotta leave it for now.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
You see the tower shakes, and like the little scaffolding up it like crumples in and falls. The big thing that happens is the orcs like on the tower like get like slid inwards, and like they're all in the center of the platforms now.
Do I want to risk it for the biscuit with another force action? Do I have anything that helps me?
5,
I don't think I do. I think it's just gonna be regular force action.
3.
I want to like try and like use arcane magic to just like bandage them together, basically. Like since they all grouped up, I want to try and just like confine them, basically.
Let's see an arcane attack
I
roll.
got nothing. Yeah, I got nothing that special with this.
He's like, ah.
It's just some regular shit. It's pretty average and minus some points.
Yeah, minus effectively 3, so a 7. It's right now like it's the suggestion of a barrier, like a fence is kind of growing around them. You know, like once they put any effort into it, they'll be able to get by it. But right now, they're like, we just got slid to the middle of a platform, and a fence is building around us, and they're like a touch bewildered and confused.
This is the most poor showing of magic I've ever seen. I couldn't collapse this fucking wooden structure, and I couldn't corral them. Like, I'm building. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna quietly sit in the air like this.
At the
Think
base
about
of
what
each
I've
of at the base of each of the towers that you're attacking, because of the effort that the orcs are now having to put towards you, as opposed to like defending their hill, the soldiers of Ambervale are able to push closer and closer to the top. A little more is needed. So, Lyra Sequoia, you're on the top of your platform. Your top platform is cleared. There's a platform beneath you that needs to be dealt with.
Well, I feel like once again, no, I feel like it would literally just, yeah, honestly, yeah, me just trying to do something to sweep them off this platform. I don't know why they need to, but
Perfect.
Because again,
Sweep it up
I realize I don't know why I'm here.
Let's see a sound attack roll.
Better. It could have been worse. So what is that?
13.
14?
13 plus 1, so 14 because of your light of Thespis.
Yes.
Again, like a sweep of sound rushes across the platform. Over half the platform is taken is like pushed aside, taken out, knocked over, or falls off the tower completely. The rest of the tower is still trying to like throw hot coals and shoot their weapons down at the oncoming soldiers. But Sequoia, what would you do?
That's why. Okay, that makes sense now.
Okay, so they're in the tower, right? Or they're in the tower, or they're on the platform?
Yeah, they're on the platform below you.
I forgot we're on the same tower.
So I want to try to. Yeah. I'm just like fines. Uh, um. Yeah. So what is their platform made out of?
Wood.
Is
This
it wood?
whole tower's wood.
It is wood. So I would
Tis
like
wood.
to
Tis.
um make like a have the wood kind of. I want to manipulate the wood that they're standing on,
Mhm.
and like have it crumble beneath them.
Perfect. Let's see it.
Oh, that 20 was right there.
Oh, that was bullshit.
That shit is
However-
fucking around.
However, you're able to like bowl the whole platform, and what orcs haven't fallen off are all just in like a heap as you just push down. The tower offers no resistance. There's no magic in the tower, so until the tower itself starts to like seep onto the mud itself, like you're able to just keep pushing that lower platform all the way to the ground as the orcs are in this like wooden bowl, just like panicking, trying to like flail around and get out. Would either of you like to force actions?
Where is she on the platform and where am I? I think that's the only part I'm confused about.
You'd be on the there's like a little spiral ramp to get down from the top platform to the lower platform. So you like stepped aside onto that ramp,
Okay. I'm
so you
over
could
here,
see the
like-
platform, and you're like, plow, 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 plow.
Because my only thought would be to try to get, you said, because there's people with like the coals and all that whatnot.
Oh, so
Or is that
now
on
your
the tower
tower's
or no?
yeah. Now
it's
your
clear?
tower's cleared. Yeah. I just meant so you could force actions at the orcs that are now at the base of the tower, if you wanted to. You don't have to.
I'm good. I think they're good for now.
We'll come back to this.
Off to Tavish. For Tavish, you find your top platform is mostly cleared, but there are a few stragglers, and then there are orcs below you on the platform below. What would you do?
Tavish will attempt to. Tavish will, after witnessing that carnage that he could pull on the top, Tavish is going to instead get all the way. How high off of the ground is Tavish from like the top of the tower to the base level?
You'd imagine something like 40 feet, maybe 50.
Okay. Tavish is going to go down the stairs, and then he's going to go down the stairs, and once he gets to like the main level, he's going to turn to the support beams and try and cut through the top support beams so the top portion of the tower just slides off.
So, or just to set the scene, you're here on this part of the tower. This part of the tower that you're on is already basically cleared. This one is the one that has everyone else.
I understand.
Okay.
So on the stairwell that goes down, I presume I can't get all the way to the base of the tower.
Yeah, it's a little ramp down to a platform to a ladder to a platform that takes you the rest of the way down.
Yeah. So I'm just going like halfway down that ramp.
So you're on the second platform.
To cut the top off. So that way if they start rallying, the tower just falls. I'm trying to disassemble the tower level by level.
No, I get you. I just
Okay.
I just want to make sure I understand, because there's only like maybe 3-4 orcs up at the top of the tower with you right now.
He's like,
Just gonna go down to the next level, I guess, and like there has to be some supporting beams underneath the lower level that keeps the whole level up. Am I right with that assumption?
If you want to go below the lower platform, you could.
Yes. Okay, I'm
Okay.
gonna go below the lower platform.
And how would you like
And then
to?
I'm gonna-
Would you like to just jump down? Like,
Yes.
perfect. Let's we'll roll a landing for you. See if you superhero land, because we're that's we're gonna call. Let's see here. We're gonna call this a sturdiness check, since you're landing in the mud. We're gonna call this a sturdiness 8.
Cool. And I've got
Ooh.
+5.
Oh, there you go.
Tavish, you drop down, you slam. I'll let you theme how you want to stand, if you want to like Terminator it or if you want to superhero pose it. But you just drop off the top of the tower, and you're now at the base at its legs.
I'm not going to waste any time trying to be cool like a superhero. I'm just going to go ahead and turn and try and cut through the legs of the tower as quickly as possible.
Let's get an attack roll from Tavish. Yeah!
Oh.
A 10. Again, this is wood. These are wood towers to your sword. It's nothing. Your blade carves through the first leg. You're not able to continue the swing to the second, so you will have to force an attack over towards that one.
I will force an attack over towards that one.
Perfect. Are we rolling it, or do you want to use a 14?
I think it might be wise for me to go ahead and use a 14.
Cool.
So that gets me to 114 left for this
Which
session.
One left, but a 14 is more than capable. You slice through the tower, through the second leg of the tower. And at first, it stays there. Like your blade, you cut through like too easily, and you have to like reach your hand out and place it on the beam and kind of give it a push as the whole tower like creaks and falls backwards. Orcs fall off in droves, some crushed by the rubble, some are able to jump their way out into the mud. Your tower completely cleared as the soldiers and your hill make it up. Epsilon, over to you. Flying above the group, would you continue to fly and use your attack action to do so, or are we landing? Oh, we've lost your.
Sorry, my bad. I wanted to come down near the tower so I can try to bring it down like I was trying to do.
Perfect. So how?
I'll land near it so I can try to crumple it.
Gotcha. Let's see it. No forced action here. Arcane roll, attack roll.
Please, God.
Oh.
That was almost terrible.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close, but no cigar.
The orcs themselves are only just now starting to get over the fence to try to get back into positions. In this, would you just crumple the tower, or would you attempt to not? How violent to the orcs are you trying to make this?
I'm not trying to kill anybody. I want them incapacitated. If they get hurt and harmed, that's okay, but I'm not trying to kill anybody.
Okay.
It's like broken bones is fine, but
Yeah,
I would.
14's fine. 14's good enough. I'm okay with that. The tower, like the restraints, the ropes, they snap. The four pillars of the tower kind of like twist and rotate as it like deconstructs and falls its way down. The top platform like slaps onto the lower platform, but not with enough force to like smash or smush the people. But you hear bones break, some fatalities undeniably, but not in any sort of forced way, as the orcs are confused. The ones on the ground are also now under like rubble and rope and things like that, as the soldiers from your hill also push up until the point where all three of these hills are now laid to rest. Ambervale soldiers come up and start planting flags at the top of each one of these hills, and you see each subsequent tower that a hero went to, a banner being raised, that of Ambervale.
If I could, I'll say if I could, when people are coming up, I just want to spend time just digging out some of the orcs that were buried and like getting them set up to be like taken prisoner, pretty much. You know what I mean?
That's fine.
Okay.
In fact, actually, you know what? Let's see how well each of the party is at gathering or basically accepting surrenders and gathering up orcs. We're just going to count this as a D20 for each player. So we're going to a dice from each person. The number is the amount of orcs that you're able to
Okay.
Take captive.
I was so scared.
Right.
I'm amazing.
The one.
I am the hero.
Oh God, only 2?
I got 15.
You would slice the motherfuckers down, all right? That makes sense. You cut through all
I
types
don't
of
like
people.
that.
All right.
I did
so,
good.
The one would have made more sense for me.
as the party like gathers around, Lyra and Sequoia were able to bring 19 orcs, only outdone by Epsilon's. In fact, actually, for a 20, let's get a second roll for Epsilon.
Hey, please confirm it. Confirm the 20.
Ooh, that.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
So
Motherfucking 38 people.
Epsilon is able to bring 38 orcs to heal as he as they begin to like flee from this battle being lost for them. He sets out little gates of fire and arcane barriers that like fence them in, and then he lands with his bleeding wings, and the orcs drop their weapons and begin to surrender. Epsilon brings in these 38. Sequoia similarly uses vines and ropes and other like shrubberies, bushes, anything natural that she can build or grab with to like scoop up more and more orcs. Seeing the effort that Sequoia goes through, Lyra is like, yeah, I mean, okay, and casts out a few little concussive pops to disorient orcs and goes, if they fall over,
They'll roll down the hill, maybe.
Oh my god. Who let her come here?
Tavish
I don't know why
slides.
we brought three.
Tavish
Yeah, I was about to
slides
say.
down his hill towards like the ruin of his tower. Orcs are like clambering up. He doesn't know if it's his own nature, the rage of battle, perhaps the weapon. But Tavish shows next to no mercy
Oh my god.
in his exaction of these orcs. If they held a weapon and they looked at him, his blade fell. Only 2 orcs were smart enough, quick enough, or lucky enough to drop their weapons in time. Tavish brought them over to the group.
Oh my god. He only got the cowardly orcs. All the brave ones died.
Parade, like fireworks start getting shot up into the air to signify that this first battle has been won for Ambervale, as more and more soldiers begin to like pour over the hills and start like resting and setting up camps on this side of the mudflats, no longer having to deal with the first wall. Even undefended, it takes hours to get the entire army over it. It's just that treacherous.
Yikes.
On the other side, a small table is set up where an astral projection of Anguin and the king join the party. Heroes, now that the first wall has been taken, we will begin our long march across the mudflats. In this part of the campaign, I shall be joining you shortly. We have confirmations from our agents that Upsilon is indeed in this mud fort. We will need to act quickly. We will speak again soon. But for now, each of you shall take a regiment of my soldiers and begin your long march across the mudflats. Lead with honor and nobility, heroes. For Ambervale. For victory. And the astral projection dissipates. The Captain Quetz comes like jogging over with like different little assignment papers and like whole lists of like each one of you has just been thrusted a company of soldiers. Hundreds of men and women and lesser heroes now listen to your every whim. Each one of you is being sent to a different part of the mudflats to ensure that the army can continue marching towards the final goal of the Mudfort and Upsilon.
Dang, we already separated.
In the distance,
Man.
far across the mudflats, you see your destination.
Oh shit.
The Mudfort calls.
Oh dear.
Damn.
But until next
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
It has been a fantastic session with our heroes having to go through a whole bunch, and we're learning some new things about people, and that's always fun. It's I look forward to being able to bring the next episode of Cinematic Epic. We're down to our final 2. That's 4-2 sessions. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Can't wait to bring those to you all. A special shout out to anyone who was watching live. We appreciate you watching live and being here with us through all the enjoyment. If you watched after the fact, after we were live, you are appreciated just as much. We love all of you. And if you want to see the second to last episode of this campaign, you can be here on February 5th. Oh boy. But until that date comes around, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh.
For Emil! For victory!
Oh, shit, guys.
We got 2 more, guys.
Oh, hell.
Bye-bye.
It's
Wish
the
us luck.
Sean
Tavish is a murderer.
B.